clear. Go.
Welcome back, Choom, for another Cyberpunk 2077 lore discussion. Today we are looking at education in Night City. It's often said education is the most valuable commodity a person can own, but I suppose that largely depends upon how one defines education. Mike Pondsmith once implied that to be cyberpunk is to question and not accept the world at face value. An approach which, in my opinion, is severely lacking on the modern net, as evidenced by the substandard coverage of Cyberpunk 2077 news. In Night City, it is very expensive to obtain education. In common with the rest of America, public education has become highly limited, and there is no shared national curriculum, albeit Night City tends to be more homogeneous in that aspect. Prior to the Fourth Corporate War, 4 high schools were in operation: Richard Knight, G. Lucas, South City High, and Del Coronado High. Another important consideration, which may or may not alleviate the pressure on the collapsing system, is that numerous breakthroughs have been made that have influenced how one might acquire knowledge. Most notable is the use of virtual reality. VR technology allows a great increase in speed and retention of material. However, the possibility of hostile interference with the computer can make the students pawns, especially for certain ideologies. Some students become psychological wrecks. In an attempt to remedy the situation, the assistance of artificial intelligences have been sought. But AIs are not without their shortcomings, particularly when interacting with humans, and a series of traumatic incidents have occurred. Despite these problems, virtual schooling remains the fastest and most complete way to realize education within Night City, and it is affordable. Perhaps VR might not be your thing, so to speak, so some opt for chip technology. Literally plug it in and you're set to go for certain subjects like languages or history. With today's neural chips, anybody can be a trivia king. But real intelligence, true cognitive excellence, still has to be taught the old-fashioned way. Chipping in to gain factual information is sound, but education is not just about regurgitating facts. It is about critical thinking, performing analysis, reaching your own conclusions. So, for example, if someone uploads defamatory content to the net, many people take it at face value, rather than questioning the purpose behind the content. Can you authenticate the information? Does it contain personal bias? What purpose does the content serve? What does the individual gain from making that content, and so on? In addition, not only does chip technology not accommodate these fundamentals, but they are easily abused. How do you know the information on the chip is correct? Many corporations insert their own ads and propaganda into chips, and the users embrace this content without question. Self-education and life experience represent a common strategy for a citizen of Night City. Self-starting programs for reading, along with personal research via sophisticated databank search, running down of rumors and leads on the street, and the exchange of experiences with other Edgerunners are the most common methods. Medias and rockers are forced to resort to such self-teaching methods, and due to the amazing amount of propaganda in the media. Coincidentally, these kinds of people usually have access to information that is restricted to most others. One must also remember that the education process does not stop with entry into adulthood. To be cyberpunk is to question and not accept the world at face value. Nomad education deserves some special mention here. Nomads do not allow others access to their children lightly. Coupled with this protectiveness is a deep respect for teachers and education as a whole. Nomad schools are open to all children, however. They will teach even the children of strangers rather than strand the ignorant in a dangerous world. If you have money to spare, more than likely your children will have a corporate education. It is said the stress is hideous. Behavior modification, loyalty tests, indoctrination, and propaganda are commonplace. Usually by the age of 15, students will take a final examination in order to determine where the individual will start their corporate career. The suicide rate amongst this cohort of students is high. In terms of tertiary education, Night City also has its own university. The Night City University began as Richard Knight University and was built in 1994 to be the academic centre of his model city. He placed the campus on the western edge of beautiful Lake Park to balance the thriving corporate sector on the opposite side. Together, they form Night City's yin and yang of commerce and higher learning. On warm days, the campus end of the park teems with students studying or enjoying the sun. After the corporate takeover in 2009, the campus was expanded to its present size and renamed Night City University. Most of the humanities functions were moved to the newly constructed northern half of the campus, while the science department stayed in a grouping of older buildings in the southern end. Today, Night City University has over 15,000 students, many of whom commute to classes on buses that run at 20-minute intervals between the campus and the maglev station at the western edge of the corporate sector. The university is best known for its high-quality engineering curriculum, but can still offer a sound education in the humanities. When you visit the NCU campus, you needn't worry about the gang problem that plagues so much of Night City, because the campus police keep stern control over the undesirables in their territory. Their glossy black protective gear and no-nonsense attitude has earned them the moniker the Mad Maxes among the students. While they may jibe their protectors, it isn't uncommon to hear a student yell for a max when they get into trouble. While the main objective of the campus police is campus security, students can enter into an optional protection agreement with the university in which the campus police will come to the aid of any student living in the nearby blocks outside of the campus. Night City University has been able to attract leading scholars in the computer field. Notable among them are Professor Kang Park, pioneering research in the field of neural chip interfacing, and Professor Alice Bloom, who was influential in the creation and standardization of the world net. Night City also has a medical school, where the focus of the research is bioengineered enhancement and augmentation biological nanotechnology, such as biological computers, memory systems, and cytological microrobotics. The students and interns also help run a medical centre where they generally do not turn anyone away. This place is often packed with screaming boosters getting amputations and the like. It's not uncommon to get additional injuries here, especially when a wounded gang member thinks they have been waiting in line too long. Hey Chumba, I'm Kazuliski, and I hope you found this Cyberpunk 2077 lore to be informative. Are you interested in more Cyberpunk 2077 content? Then be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions or feedback, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you for chipping in.